It's Bourbon Night, it's an Uncorking. Hello, I'm Chad.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah, this is a familiar looking little bottle here. What's we got?
This is Knob Creek Small Batch.
Knob Creek, small batch.
No stranger to us.
100 proof. Yes, no stranger. And now, in a new and improved design.
And now, coming
bottle?
to you in this bottle.
I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you like the new redesign or do you like the old?
So I feel like, you're getting older when something changes and you're like, I don't like it at first. You're like, no, stop messing with my stuff. But the more I look at this, the more I really do like this design, especially the single barrel label. It's really nice.
Yeah.
You know what I wish they would change, which I realize it's a signature thing, is this whole process right here. I do not like to open the Knob Creek ones.
You gotta find which, it only goes one way.
Right, so you gotta figure it out. But then
find that.
it makes a mess. That stuff comes off, you get wax on your hands, there's wax everywhere.
It's like the commercials where they over-exaggerate things.
Has this ever happened to you?
This part
fail.
is so hard to open.
Oh, but when
Ooh,
it
it's
does.
really in there. I like this at 100 proof normally. Whenever we have it, it's like an old reliable kind of, I think. No one's ever mad about drinking a Knob Creek. I have met a few people that are like, I don't like Knob Creek, which is fine. I've met a few people that say they don't like everything, so.
So Knob Creek, if you're kind of newer to bourbon and might not know this, is made by Jim Beam. Jim Beam also makes other things like Basil Hayden, Booker's, Baker's, and then Knob Creek.
Yep.
In fact, when I was looking for an old bottle, all we have is the 9-year age stated.
So that's like 2 labels ago.
Yeah, so they took off the 9-year a little while ago. We never had any of those because we kind of stocked up on the age stated.
It's true, yeah. We had so many age stated, we skipped one.
So this, same story, not 9 years. But it probably has some 9-year in it, but it's, blended with other younger, so they could keep making it
a small batch
at the same price, which price comes in around $25, $26 typically.
It has a nice chocolatey nose, but it's got that like musty note of something that's somewhat established. It's got that Jim Beam nutty air particle must kind of.
If you must.
If I must.
As far as the nuttiness goes, because I know some people are tuning in to hear how many times I say nutty.
Nutty. There.
Because it's a drinking game, they want to drink. At least from, a brand new crack, a neck pour, as I call it, without it having time to really open up in the glass. I kind of call it more of a peanut butter type of smell than just, like, hey, this
It is a little peanut buttery. It's got a little sweetness
nutty,
in there. Yeah.
And it smells, I don't know, I'm just getting this visual of smooth, creamy peanut butter. Not chunky.
No, this is like your childhood peanut butter and jelly sandwich going on.
Well, here we go. Now there's the nuttiness.
There's that nutty.
There's the nuttiness.
There's that creamy peanut butter.
Oh, it is more peanut buttery than just...
It is way more peanut buttery than... the nose suggests.
Now that we have Booker's 30th, again, which is a Jim Beam product, this obviously isn't of that level, but it makes me think of it. It's like, you can... you can kind of see it in the distance. Like, oh, there it is.
But that's interesting that, like, you can see that thread from a $25 bottle to a $200 plus bottle. And I think that's what's so cool, like, about Jim Beam products. And a lot of the distilleries, like, once you get to know yourself and your tasting, preferences, but also know these distilleries, they all have kind of a signature taste.
Like a through line.
Yeah, and some of them are easier to pick up on than others. Like, I think Jim Beam and Old Forester, and any Brown-Forman product, I think, are the easiest to pick up on. But yeah, once you familiarize yourself with the portfolio, it's easy to identify.
Yeah, for sure. And,
tips.
And some people have said, because you can get a single barrel store pick of these, so 120 proof, and they can be older. They've been, we've seen like 14, 15 year. Some people say that those are, some people say better than a Booker's, which is fine. We don't have any skin in the game there. but just, really reminiscent of a Booker's. Like a really old Knob Creek single barrel is is reminiscent of a Booker's, which is really cool because, again, same
Probably
family.
why we buy so many of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to do this since we have this bottle here. I have a third glass.
Ooh.
And I thought, why not? Why not try a non-age stated with the old 9 year? How about
Okay. I didn't even think of that. I like where
Yeah.
your head's at,
See?
Chad. There's not a ton of difference
There's
between
not.
them.
There's not. I feel like
They're definitely in the same family.
in 30
nose-wise.
minutes, this is probably going to smell the same as this, So we've already had, 2 good sips on this Knob Creek. Now this
Yep.
is the 9-year age stated of yesteryear.
Also known as 2015. I don't know.
No, not that old.
Days of yore.
Days of yore.
Ooh, that is nice though.
Now see, that's a different type of nutty. That's more like you are eating a handful of peanuts. The smoothness isn't quite there, and maybe it's a little dry.
Maybe more savory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but it's got so much depth.
This is crunchy peanut butter.
they're
This
just
is smooth.
they just each have something different going on for them, but that has got a little more heat to it. I mean, it's the same proof, but
Yeah.
it's got a substantial amount of heat in a good way. It's like warmed my whole tongue up, and I'm getting a really strong hug, which I felt something with this, but it wasn't like that.
Now let me ask you this: does the 9-year taste older than the non-age stated?
It's a good question.
Ooh, long finish.
I'm gonna vote yes. Of that richness and depth and like lingering flavor and just the way it gets into like it takes that nutty note to it the next level.
Sure.
And I think that's something that comes with bourbons that are of a certain age. This is still really tasty.
Yeah.
Just when you compare it to that, it's like, oh, I see the 9 years. So it's its older, more mature
A little
cousin.
wiser cousin, yeah. I honestly wasn't for sure until I went back and had the
To this-
non-age stated, and I was like, oh yeah, I do kind of pick up. And I
Yeah.
don't think, again, it's just this one being opened and this one being a neck pour. Just the older bourbon in there that does taste a little bit more.
I forgot
deeper.
how good that tastes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It just tastes richer and
it is more complex, richer,
more complex,
more
but not
depth.
not night and day at all.
No, but again, this is like
If you don't try them back and forth,
your 14-year-old cousin that you're like, ugh, okay, fine, like whatever, and it's like your cool cousin that I don't know,
it's like, hey, I'm the Fonz or something.
Something
I
like
don't know
that.
what cool kids sound like anymore.
like you're fine to hang out with, but you're still like, meh.
Yeah.
No, I like it a lot, but
Bratty brother.
by comparison, like I'd rather hang out with that one,
Mm-hmm.
It's true though, when we went from this to the older, I noticed a little bit of difference, but when we went back to the new one is when I really noticed.
Yeah. We could put a little bit of water in this. I don't think we are. But what I would like to do is give this about 10 minutes in the glass, see how that happens. So we're going to do that. And while we have this little break, we want to tell you about our home on the interwebs. It's whiskyambitions.com, where you can get our It's Bourbon Night glass, the Drink More Bourbon, the Drink More Water pint glass, t-shirts, and so forth. That is whiskyambitions.com.
You can also become a patron. It's patreon.com/itsbourbonnight and join in our community and conversation. We're making new friends every day. Every day. And we love that.
So fun.
Come check it out.
Yeah, lots of extras there. Okay, so we're gonna pause, come back in about 10. See you then. Just want to break in here for a second. Breaking news. Right after we finished filming this episode, I was reading a blog by Chuck Cowdery, and it was about the return of the 9-year age statement, which apparently is happening early next year. That'll be 2020, depending on when you're watching this episode. And then also, it seems like there's going to be a limited run, at least I think it's limited, of 12-year age stated. So, not a whole lot of facts right now. So it's pretty pertinent information on the topic. So just wanted to slide that into this video. All right. Back to us. And we're back. We've let this sit here for about 10 to 15.
That's right.
See what this smells like.
Ooh. It's opening up for
It's
sure.
evened out. Not that it was rough before at all, but it just smells more well-rounded now,
I agree. Like I still get a little chocolatey sweetness, that peanut butter, less of the musty.
Honestly, it smells more like kind of the 9
It
now.
does.
So, letting it open up in the glass, obviously, will do it some good.
I mean, there is nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. And I kind of love doing that. Doing a pour, having a couple sips, going off, really letting it get off of your tongue.
Yeah.
You know, and then coming back to it, it's such a treat because one, you know, you're acclimated, and that's why we you know usually like to do like a control bourbon, what we call something to wake up our tongue, sort of like stretching before you work out.
So you're not just like
Yeah, like whiskey. And if you take some sips, walk away, 10, 15 minutes, whatever, come back. That's basically the same thing. You know you've acclimated your tongue to the alcohol. Lovely nose, lovely palate. The finish is medium to long.
medium, yeah.
Yeah, you do get the Kentucky hug, which is enjoyable. It does have that nutty all around.
It does.
You get the barrel, you get the signature Jim Beam.
A hint of sweetness.
Yeah, it's just...
I will say, if you're just starting out in bourbon, I don't think that this is the first step for you.
Agreed.
This is a few steps in. It's like that 100 proof, that stronger hug, that in-depth nutty. I think those are things that you like acquire.
Yeah.
The taste for. Now, I say that, but maybe there's a first-time bourbon drinker out there who's like, I love Knob Creek, and I'm good for you.
I also feel like, if you're looking at a bourbon flavor wheel, this definitely has areas that it juts out, and you need to like those areas, obviously, to like this bourbon. Obviously, we do. And for the price...
For the price.
Boom.
Boom.
recommend, obviously.
But did you see that coming? Probably.
Yeah. And it is good to know. I mean, like, earlier on, we were really on this, the 9-year age stated, but it's good to know that the non-age stated isn't that much of a difference. It's not a killer. It's not like, oh, why did they have to murder our Knob Creek?
They didn't murder
It's not really
it.
like that. It's still really solid, really good. And I would rather them have done that than keep the age statement and raise it up to
or do away with it altogether.
$40, $50.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely recommend. Absolutely.
For sure. If you'd like to see more reviews of Jim Beam products like that, you can click on one of our playlists. You can click somewhere on the screen to subscribe. You know what it looks like. And that'll do it for us. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad.
Okay. Till next time, drink more bourbon.